So, Dom, you've made it.
I'm here, like I said I would be.
All right. Just before we get everything started, I want to let you know the rules for this rap battle.
I already know, but you can say it anyway.
Okay. First of all, no writtens. Everything is a freestyle.
We decided on that.
I'm serious. Everything
no writtens.
Straight off the top. No writtens. We get 2 rounds each, and then at the end of it, we decide who the winner is.
Yeah, all right. We'll know who the winner is. All right.
Oh,
you already know.
All right. All right. You go first.
All right, man. All right. First off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim. West Side, when we ride, come equipped with gang. You claim to be a player, but I fuck your wife.
Wait. Dom. I just said.
That was off the dome, man.
Dom, that was Tupac's "Hit 'Em Up." You
No,
literally
that was my shit. No,
you
that
literally
was
just
the
jacked
shit
the
up.
most famous battle record of all time.
That was straight from me.
I'm gonna give you another shot, man, because I'm serious about this, Dom. I want to settle this.
All right, man. Fuck. Since you didn't like that shit, that was straight hot fire. But I have enough in me.
Bring it. All right,
again.
come on and spit the bar. Let's go. Come on.
All right,
I got somewhere to go.
All right. Here we go. I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Scream from the haters. Got a nice ring
Dom,
to
this
it.
is crazy. This is fucking crazy. You think I've never owned a fucking MP3 player? I've never heard Kanye's
What are you talking
power.
about, man?
I've never heard Kanye's power, Dom. Not only
What the fuck
are you
talking
not
about, man?
spitting,
That's my
not
shit.
only is this not a freestyle, but it's not even yours. Like
It's mine.
I could at least see if you were writing something that you did, but it's not yours.
Dude, man.
Third time's a
You're just
charm.
fucking mad because I'm spitting that hot shit. All right, man. I'm about to go again. I'm not doing it after.
Dom, if you fuck
right?
this up, then I go and your first round is just fucking null and void.
Fuck that shit, man. I'm gonna go. Watch. I'm a fucking walking paradox. No, I'm not. Threesomes with a fucking triceratops. Reptar. Rapping as a mocking deaf rock stars. Wearing synthetic wig.
I cannot believe that we came out here in the middle of fucking nowhere, fucking tumbleweeds flying by us, and you can't even take this shit seriously. Have you
You think this is serious? This is my shit.
Do you have no
You
integrity?
think you're so fucking fine?
Yeah,
fine. All right, fine.
Okay,
Look,
I'm
listen.
gonna spit this shit right off the fucking top, just like I said. Because
Like,
those are the
you
rules
go
I
ahead
made.
then.
All
See how fucking good you
my
are.
round one, your round one sucks. All right, check it. All right, the takeover, the break's over, nigga. God MC, me, D.Respect. You're listening to the Double D's podcast.
I'm Dom.
I'm D.Respect.
He's got a great set of tits.
I get so angry thinking about this kid.
Because that's what most people are bitching about.
To New York, you know what I mean? We like to eat out here. You know?
You gotta stop looking at interacting with people online as a cheap date. My father used to drink.
Get the fuck away from me! I'm done!
I come a lot, by the way.
You're good doing the rap stuff.
If you didn't say it, somebody in the comment section would have said it.
It's like how you feel when you're having a paranoid high.
That's a dynamic connection right there. This week, on Double D's, Dom addresses him and his white girls. You're listening to Double D's.
I'm Dom.
I'm D.Respect.
Let's not walk around.
Wait, before we go into that, if you're listening to the Double D's podcast via iTunes, we always want to remind you to be active within the iTunes community. Please comment, please subscribe. It helps the Double D's podcast out so very much.
I don't know why we tell them that anymore. They don't do it. They don't bother to rate, review, and subscribe. They're not going to do it. They're a bunch of bitches, all of them.
Well, I think
fuck them, I say.
I think it's because our iTunes support, as far as that is capsized. People are obviously still listening via iTunes, but I guess all the people that felt like they wanted to rate just rated, and the rest of them are just going to ghost ride the whip.
I think it's because our schedule's been kind of fucked up these past few.
We're going to get into that. Okay.
We'll get back to it. But let's not ignore the elephant in the fucking room right now. Okay.
What's the elephant in the room?
The Charleston shooting.
Wow, you just want to talk about the Charleston shooting? Okay.
I'm just saying, let's not fuck, because it's heavy. It's fucking too heavy. I can't get into talking about carrots and seeds or whatever the fuck. I like how that's the first two things I thought of. I mean, because otherwise, if we start with something else, I'd be like just thinking about that the whole time.
You'd be doing it to a disservice to the families who have lost their loved ones.
If I didn't start with it?
If you didn't start with it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's weird. It's goofy. For you folks in Sweden who don't know, I mean, everyone fucking knows. There's a shooting.
I am the only listener of the Double D's podcast via Sweden, and I would like to be informed about the Charleston shootings. Please inform me from Sweden. Thank you. Thank you, Sven.
9 black people killed by crazy racist white kid. Mm-hmm. That's it.
The end. With that bowl haircut kind of thing. Like he put like a salad bowl on his head.
I mean, here's my issue with this is that Jim Norton always talks about this, and he's spot on every fucking time. Is the amount? And I'm not even going to say his name. That's one thing I've been trying to live by. Is like I'm not going to publicize his name at all. I don't think we should be seeing this person's face. Any of these dudes who do mass shootings, especially shit like this. That's like. Motivated by hate. It's like you look at any of these stupid New York Post things, and it's like they don't talk about the victims, just the people who did these violent crimes. Like this guy's face is all over the newspapers and shit, and it's like we have his manifesto. Like don't forget, man. Don't fucking forget that people are going to push their agendas one way or the other and try to avoid the real fucking really hard issue. Which is just that we live in a really racist society. I mean, like it's. I'm not gonna say it's a super. Fuck. How do I put this? It's like we obviously still have a lot of issues as far as race relations, like people being oppressed and all that sort of things. Like people like this exist, who like. Run around saying that black men are just raping women and killing them and they need to go back to Africa. Like, these people still exist. A lot of them are hidden, but, like, this shit is still real. And, like, I think it's so difficult to even try and fix that. And a lot of people just don't even want to try and... I think it's such a hard thing to try and fix that we'll focus on little things like taking down flags and shit like that, as if so taking down the Confederate flag is going to solve. I think
the approach to that would pretty much be, well, that's the simplest thing that we can do at this point. So let's start off with that. That's something that we can all agree on that we could easily do. We could take down these flags,
that's
and
the step one.
That would be step one. But to me, I would sort of think that would only make matters worse because you can't stop the wave of hate. It's going to happen. It's just the law of averages, and the wave of hate will hit South Carolina again in the future. So say, for example, if we take these flags down and, everybody will be overwhelmed and they'll say, wow, we thought we made so much progress. There are no more Confederate flags hanging around Charleston, South Carolina, and this happens again. This is devastating because we felt we made so much progress over the last year or so. You're just really deluding yourself into thinking that a symbol is really going to change anything.
Yeah, the real issue is like it's institutionalized racism, it's overt racism, it's just a condition that I think is very ugly and very just a very human thing to just hate someone because they look different from you, or you were taught that. And there are all these rumors coming out about why he might hate black people and all this shit. When it's like, I don't know that that's as important as the fact that his actions. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. His actions say everything. It's like, it's obvious what the result was. I mean, I don't know that it's so important. Like, I heard some rumor, it's like, oh, some black dude fucked the chick he liked. Like, really? Like, is that what... Like, but what does that do? Like, how does that change... How does that factor into us trying to change anything? And this is just... Unfortunately, this is just like... To me, it feels like... the idea of the war on terror. It's like, how can we have a war on racism? Like, what can we possibly do besides I mean, there's several schools of thought, I think, about how to solve these things. It's like focusing internally and about your family and your community. Like, basically, fuck everyone else. Like, and I think, I mean, this is kind of like the Kendrick I love myself type shit, where it's like, they're going to think all this shit about us, and they're going to keep, like, the racist people are always going to exist, but we can change, we can sort of make it so that it's difficult for them to even penetrate our collective, I guess, self-confidence and our understanding that we are people and we have respect for ourselves, and we're not going to be, like, this isn't going to stop us from doing anything. Like, they can't basically shake us.
Mm-hmm.
But the external is more like external idea of changing this is more so like, sure, we have to fix stuff in our communities, but we're being attacked. Stuff is happening from the outside that keeps us in these positions where giving people reasons to want to kill us or whatever. Basically, I don't know. I don't want to say blaming outward, but that's sort of what it is. It's kind of like, we've been taken to this country, blah, blah. This has been done to us. It's like stuff being done to us versus... do you know what I'm getting at? It's like different ways of trying to tackle the problem. When I think the solution seems to be just a mix of all of that stuff. It's like other people looking at... Just go ahead.
I have a question. Now, this was 100% racially motivated, or was there sort of religious ideology or
it seems super
just
like purely racial.
Purely racial. Okay, so it had nothing to do with the fact that they were in church at the time.
No, I think that he wanted to do a church maybe because he knew they were going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And it just fucks me up because it's like, I don't want to turn this into like some stupid religious agenda either, but it's just so fucked. It's like you're in church praying and you get shot. This is why I can't be a believer. Like, and I mean, it's cool if you have faith and all that stuff, but this is just more proof for me. Every day I just see proof of the fact that we all have each other. This is all we fucking have in this life. It's like we can, like, our goal should just be to make it as easy and happy as possible for each other. But I mean, like, even if you're trying to do your best and be a good person, I mean, like, what I will talk about is, like, you should check out the, like, victims, like, look them up, look up what kind of people they were, look up, and it's just, the proof couldn't be, it's just so, I don't know, these were just good people. And it doesn't even matter if they were bad people either. It's like we don't live in a society. It's not, our society isn't designed to do that. Even if you had 10 dudes in a room who raped your wife, who actually raped your wife or something, you still can't go in there and do that, because that's just not how we created this society. Which is, it leads me to another point. And Jon Stewart did a really good job on the Daily Show of talking about this. It's like, how much money have we spent overseas trying to catch terrorists and stop terrorism when we have plenty of them here? We have plenty of guys like this, committing acts of terror and just being super, all the violence, inner city violence, this kind of violence, this racially motivated violence, all these hate crimes. And it's like, it's easier for us to put money into these endeavors overseas, I guess, because we profit from it monetarily.
Absolutely.
And I guess it's like middle America will get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking a lot.
Well, I mean, you obviously have, you're more invested into this situation. I think it's fair to say. I'm not going to pretend for a minute like I'm very invested in it, but no, carry on. I mean, what else do you think? Go in, son. Go in.
I'm going in. It's fucked. that's my main thing. And it's this feeling of hopelessness I get every time, where it's like, I just see so many people on my Twitter feed just talking. It's like all this shit about what we need to do. We need to do this. We need to do that. This is horrible. It's like, white people aren't acknowledging that we live in a racist society. and that people are discriminated against. And I agree with that. There are a lot of people who will say, like, who'll even try and make excuses for this kid doing this stuff. And then it turns into like this gun control thing where I don't even know that that's this. I don't know that is going to change things. It's like, okay, so he had an automatic weapon, and it's like if he had a revolver or something with only like 10 bullets, it's like I don't.
Well, he wouldn't have killed as many people. I guess that's always the argument with that.
Yeah, but it's just, to me, that's always like. Excuse me. I'm concerned about the fact that it's happening. Like,
I mean, it wouldn't have made it any less of a tragedy had he just killed 3 people.
Right.
That still would have been incredibly sad.
So, I'm just.
He just goes in there like Yosemite Sam, and he just starts knocking him off. What's that thing called at the end of it in the West when they used to shoot off the triggers at the end and kind of like snap their hands?
Shootouts?
No, just that little end of the gun where you sort of just notch it back.
The hammer.
The hammer, right. Just slapping the hammer, and he takes out a couple black folks, just like, pew, pew.
Oh, my God.
There you go, Jerome.
D-Respect doesn't care. Put it on Twitter.
He doesn't care about black people.
He's making jokes. Do you have anything on this? Like, I don't... I feel like I blabbed. You got anything?
Do I have anything on it? I can't really say that I do. When I see this, the only thing is just the media. I think the first thing that you mentioned is probably the closest thing that I could possibly have to say about this is that the shooter gets more highlighted than the actual victims because any newspaper that I've seen, it's him being arrested. Which, by the way, people complained about the manner in which he was arrested, that he wasn't arrested aggressively enough. I'm not sure how that works. I didn't understand that the police have some sort of rollover roughness that they have to deal with certain people because maybe certain black people weren't treated so well. So now there's like rollover roughness that a white person accrues when they get arrested. But it's that. It's the fact that his face is on the paper and it creates something. And that's really just the business end of this whole tragedy. There's the business end, and there's the truth about what happened, that it was racially motivated, and then there's the circus that it gets turned into, and then the agendas come in.
What was his, why was he doing that? Just people just trying to dig into his life. They want to find out every reason why he did it, and it turns into something about him, and it doesn't turn into the thing about the racism. But again, I'm going to say
there isn't anything to say because you did. On the other hand, you did say, let's learn a bit about the victims. But learning something about the victims is really it's pointless because whether one of the victims was a convicted drug dealer,
right. It doesn't matter.
A white beater, yeah. It doesn't matter because the punishment didn't fit the crime. Nobody deserves that, a senseless crime like that. So really, I guess I'm sort of contradicting myself because I am saying that, you don't focus on the victims, but the victims don't tell any of the story because they're just voids. They're just empty voids of whatever the fuck it is. I don't know, but I mean,
I think it's
there's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here.
My point is, if you focus more on the victims, it's like these are people. It's like we want to turn this into a black and white thing all the time, and it's like he killed black people. It's like, well, these people, they actually, but they existed. They had lives and shit. They're not just numbers. And I think maybe if it was if we just humanize them more by not talking about this shooter and sort of talking a little more about them, it would be holy, maybe just people would just, it would just be something like we think a little bit more about the fact that it's not just something that's on TV. But I mean, we saw this shit with Sandy Hook too, man. This dude just gunned out a bunch of kids, and it's the same thing. It's like, why would this person do this? It's. I feel like we're in this vicious cycle of sort of Dane Cook reference. This vicious cycle is just bad shit. It's like I hear about it happening and I'm like, when is the next one gonna be? It's not, we can't stop this thing. That I can't get over this idea that we just lived in this fucked up world. It's like, because a part of me is like, all these people on Twitter who are saying what needs to happen, and even me, when I say we need to fix ourselves, I'm like, all that'll do. I think if we fix ourselves and sort of strengthen our resolve to make our it's like, is that going to stop a racist kid from walking into a playground and and stabbing a couple kids? Like,
absolutely not.
Is that going to... Right, so it's like, you have all these issues on all these different fronts, and it's like trying to solve hate. How do you stop hate from happening? That's what I always get back to this.
But you can't. You just
right.
You simply.
But that's what I'm saying. I always get back to this moment where I'm like, this is utopia we're talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about creating a utopia. That's how impossible it feels to me. That like, there's so many people who it's like you could not convince them that black people aren't animals. Like,
so are we? So when we react to this, are we just like simply baffled because we're not living in a perfect world?
I think that's part of it, man. I think it's like, it's just you just being faced with all of the things that shouldn't happen, but it does. It's like you want to live in a world where it's like, this happens from small levels to large scales. It's like you want to live in a world where people don't get put into ovens because they look a certain way and they get incinerated, like or people are enslaved. But when you live in that world where chaotic things like that can happen, on the opposite end of that, you do exist in a world where fucking fascinating things can just randomly appear as well. So it's like you got to live within that world to get the other one as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand. But that angle, I don't really. I have trouble with that angle, but I sort of understand it. It's like we understand. And this, because I don't like this, because it's always a shit that religious people bring up where it's like, sometimes bad things gotta happen. And I'm like, no, dude, fuck that. I really am so against that. I'm not going to...
But it's just simply, it's just the law of the world that we live in. It's just the law, man. That's all it really is. Very, very
like
apathetic
people steal,
approach.
People take things, people kill.
People steal, people take things, people do shitty things like gun people in churches, but people also do great things. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't want to take it to that. But
that would be the fucking worst angle you get put on Fox News. Is like, people do good stuff too, you know. Be the fucking worst.
Well, I mean, I say it because with everything, with Jon Stewart, with everything, it's just so sensational, and it's just, I just have a really tough time looking at this guy on TV and believing whether 100% he's 100% devoted to the message that he's putting across. You know. I gotta say, I'm just not convinced.
This is great. This is great that it's coming out.
I don't know if
this is great that you're voicing this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because he's white. I don't know if that has something to do with it.
You feeling that it's sort of disingenuous, or
because
sort of
I've always felt like
his
this.
Gums.
I've always felt like this. I've always sort of felt like with a race relation. You know, I'm not gonna say that because, you know, there were white abolitionists. You know what I'm saying? I understand that that the white people they've contributed to the social progression of the country. I understand that, but there's something about a white person when they get like enraged about a race issue.
Yeah,
something about
like,
that.
Honestly,
to me, what was that?
Yeah, there's something about. I know what you mean. It's kind of like, man, I look at them and I'm like, what's your stake in it? Like why do you... It's this weird feeling, and I know this. It's not good for me to think this way. It's sort of like, because I sound like Spike Lee when I'm like, why are you like yelling louder than all the black people are? It's like, why is this happening? It's like, what is, like, do you feel... And this is sort of shitty of me. I always wonder what their agenda is. Like, do they feel better about themselves for saying it? Like, do they really feel it?
You know,
like because they're not living in that same world where they're gonna get gunned down in a church.
Mm-hmm. But they also do live in the world where their friend, could get gunned down in a church.
You're right. I mean, that's the other thing.
There's that,
and then that's the other thing. It's stupid, but it's dumb for me to be like, you're not allowed to grieve. To obviously, I'm not grieving. You're not allowed to speak out because that's stupid. Why would I? Why
it's
would
not that they're not
someone?
allowed to. It's just, there's just a certain frequency that a person, I think, when they reach a certain frequency of concern, I begin to question how genuine it is. Like what I'll say is, I'll actually quote my boy who I quote on the show very often, Haterazzi. Haterazzi, one time he was addressing the word nigger, and he was saying that he gets annoyed.
We don't say that word on this show.
What was that?
Please don't say that. You just triggered me. Please don't say
I would
that
not.
word.
Okay, I will not.
Thank you.
Well, he said when he has white friends who, when they talk about the word and they say, dude, don't say that word around me. I hate that fucking word, bro. And he's like, dude, like, why are you getting so upset about it? Like, I'm not upset about it. Like, why? Like, what is it? Yeah. Why are you so, why are you so worked up about it? So, I mean, it does become this thing where it's like, it's a, I don't know if it's maybe an acceptance thing. Like, look, I just want to say that the basis of our relationship is that I acknowledge that on the surface, I am a white person and you are a brown person. But I just want to let you know, at every time somebody mentions that word, I want to let you know where I stand, because I don't want this relationship to get... I guess maybe it is that white friend acknowledging that we do live in such a racially motivated world, so they feel like they have to like walk on eggshells.
Yeah, and I don't want that though. I don't want to. I like genuine people where it's like I want to hear my friend say the racist thing. It's like if it's a joke or it's like it's actually a prejudice that they have, I want to just have it come out, dude. Like, don't fucking keep that shit in. And I mean, maybe that's just, if I can take away anything out of this or just give this to you guys, it's like, just don't hide this shit. Just fucking talk if you want to fucking understand people better, or just be real. You know, like, no black person. It's like you're right about this certain kind of like super the super liberal white guy who's like being angry for black people. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes it can be kind of annoying. Because it's like, just shut up, dude. And I don't know why that's always my first response. Like, just shut up. Like, we're not even that mad.
I have a 60-year-old. I have a 6-year-old Jewish coworker, a woman. She was telling me a series of jokes the other day, and she prefaced one of the jokes by warning me, giving me the disclaimer that this next joke that she's about to perform is an ethnic joke. So she kind of said it in the way that, do you still want me to continue? And mind you, you know, me and this lady were very fucking cool. We're very fucking cool. And it's like, why would you feel like you have to just fucking say
you want me to give you my staff of blackness? You want me to hold my dick out and be like, proceed? Like, really? I gotta bless it?
Yeah, I gotta like bless
it. Like, fucking be real, man. Talk to me like you talk to your friends.
Right.
Talk to me like you talk to your fucking friends. Like, just... Like, we're all people, right? Like, this is part of... I think it's part of the fucking problem, too, man. Like, all this shit where you just...
It's on Dom's tombstone. That's what it's gonna read. We're all people. 20 years from now, you're gonna see two douchebags at a fucking cafe with Double D's t-shirts, and then I think it was the great Dominic Robert that said, we are all people. Yes, I believe it.
Yes, pass the medical cocaine, please. It's legalized now, you know, in the future. In the future.
Medical cocaine.
But, this is so, what am I going to say? I would have told you this 2 weeks ago before the shooting, but, I think, something that we can do is, I don't know if it's counterintuitive or something, but it's just like, keep fucking creating art, being best possible person you can be, because I mean, like, people are gonna look at you and make assumptions about you all fucking day. What they can't take away from you is that you are a good person, you take care of your family, whatever the fuck. Or if you're a deadbeat alcoholic dad, you do that to your best of your ability. No, but and no one can take it away from you if you're fucking doing the best you can and just being a solid good person. And it's like, you may get discouraged or get into these weird modes where you just feel like people are against you. Like, I have like the tiniest sliver of paranoia every once in a while. I'm glad that I'm not like stricken with it, where I think that Whitey is out to get me. I've never been that person, because I'm kind of like Charlemagne in the sense that he said something like, he's like, don't talk to me about white privilege, because they're never going to fucking be able to take anything away from me. Like, the amount of work I put into my life to be better and all that. Like, I don't even want to fucking talk about that shit. Because that's like, and I want you guys to feel that same confidence, where it's like, don't even fucking tell me I can't do shit, because that's not going to be in my vocabulary. Because it's a disease. Fucking thinking that you're being held down, even if you are, it's like, you don't have to operate within these rules. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, you know what? I think before the podcast, Dom sent me a Twitter handle that apparently it's Banksy's Twitter handle.
Oh my! It is not the real Banksy's Twitter handle.
It's not the real.
As
Banksy,
this white female once told me after we had sex and we were talking about it.
Well, I mean, I think that sort of relates to what you're mentioning. I mean, I guess, you know, we're entering sort of the realm of affirmation.
Yeah, man.
And all that stuff. But you had quite a problem, even though you've stated what you've just stated. You had a problem.
I know, this is so counter. You know what it is? Is because I feel very genuine in what I'm saying.
Wait, first let's describe to them what they can find on this page.
Okay, you go to excuse my typing. I believe it's the real Banksy on Twitter, not his real account. It's a fan account. Then again, it might be. I'm not going to get into this subject, this argument about who he is or who the collective might be, Banksy, whatever the fuck. But it has 1.31 million followers, and it's the most corniest, positive meme shit where it's like, people express themselves differently, and it'll be like what am I looking at? A drawing of two girls with tattoos. And like a woman with body art on her body versus like on her underwear, and some other woman has the art on her underwear, and she's looking down at the other person. Like, super simplistic explanations of life. What else? You can go to the real Banksy, scroll through it. It's the fucking corniest. It's like a book that says The Book of Lies, Chapter 1. It's a quote that says "I love you." Like, what? Shit is like 4.7 thousand retweets.
The most recent one is "Never apologize for being you." Bang.
As much as
but those
here's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, go ahead.
But it wasn't that what I was just fucking saying. I hate that he puts this stuff up, but for some reason I feel more okay speaking it than making it into a picture and putting it on Twitter or something. Not that my voice right now is any less permanent than that stuff, but like, maybe it's because this account doesn't even seem like a person to me. It's just like this fake thing that's just trying to get fucking follows or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yuck. Right.
No different than what was that? What was that? That great? Do I still follow that girl? Shamika? What was the one that C-Town put us on to?
Oh yeah, Shanique, the fat black chick.
Yeah,
who always talks about pancakes and food.
Right,
and stuff.
right. And chicken McNuggets.
Dude, that
mostly.
shit was hilarious. Oh my god.
So I mean, is it the fact that it's on Twitter where accounts like, you know?
Okay. Parody, here we go. When you laugh at rape jokes, these are the people you're laughing at. Oh, really? I'm directly laughing at these, like, and rape jokes cause rape too. Probably that's what they think. Fuck, we're not gonna get into that. Sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So is that the thing? I mean, is it the thing because these very deep and thoughtful tweets are being shared probably on this? Like, how much does that devalue the tweets when you follow other people, like, you know, with like parody accounts, and you see one of these quotes, and then just right above that is just like, I just inhaled 24 chicken McNuggets, winning, you know, like that devalues
right.
it
So
so
it's like,
much.
what does it really mean?
Yeah, what does it really mean? I get what you're saying because you're probably questioning because it's Banksy, and of course, you know, the kiddies out there. We can't just assume that these guys know who Banksy is. I mean, I'm kind of familiar with who Banksy is because what was it?
You watched the documentary,
Right, I saw Exit Through the Gift Shop, but other than that, I'm not too knowledgeable.
There's not much to know about him other than like his art is if it's whatever the fuck is mostly about sort of things that you can find out in the real world. It's a very much like the art is part of it is like knowing that it's super expensive and people interacting with it. It's like people will see a statue that he made and just left out in Brooklyn, and then they'll just take it and sell it, and that's part of it. It's like he's making some sort of a statement or some shit.
Oh, really? That's his whole thing. Like, people take it.
No, everything it's all like this sort of subverting our ideas of what art is. What is the public's interaction with art? That's a very big thing for him because he started out as just a regular street graffiti artist, and he would do things, I think, kind of corny imagery with like he'd paint something on like the Israel-Palestine wall with like a little girl holding a red balloon or something.
That one I've seen that.
Right, stuff like that. But it's in your face. It's in the street. Now he's so popular. He's worth so much that people will do things like slice out that wall and then sell it because it's worth like because some buyers will spend like a couple mil or whatever buying it or some shit. But yeah, his thing is like, there's actually a really interesting documentary on him on HBO as well, where it's like, he did this artist in residency thing in New York. You probably heard about this. It was 2 years ago.
What was that?
It was this artist in residency thing where Banksy was like, I'm going to be in New York for a month. Every day I'm going to make some sort of art thing and then post the location on my website. And all the artists and the hipsters were going around trying to find them. Did you remember that?
No.
Yeah, so he would do things like paint on a wall in Tribeca, and then people would be crowding around and taking pictures. One time he painted something in the hood, and all the dudes in the hood were like, okay, all these white people are coming around with cameras. Let's cover this up with some cardboard, and if you want to look at it, you got to pay us $20. So that's part of the art. It's like unexpected sort of, how does the public react to this? Like that, the interaction, it's not just about the painting. It's about like, your interaction with it. Like just a painting being on the wall isn't quite enough. It's like, it's gotta be living and breathing and sort of like able to be like, there was one thing he painted in Brooklyn, and mind you, this shit is priceless. It's not priceless, but it would probably cost like $1 million if you could cut out one of these walls and sell it. So he painted on one of these walls in Brooklyn, and people painted right over it and were tagging it and shit. And people were yelling at him because they were destroying the valuable art. But again, you can't do that in the Louvre, but you can do that to a Banksy if you find it out in its natural habitat. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
He's never been seen.
People think that, I mean, in Exit Through the Gift Shop, supposedly that was him, but there's such a great mythos over a mythos around who he might be, who she might be, if it's a collective, it's a group. I'm sort of inclined to believe that it's a group of people who are accomplishing this, and I'm also inclined to believe that it kind of doesn't matter who he is, because I mean, someone's getting money from all these things selling. Someone is.
Does that make it any less? Does it make it any? You know, is it less fascinating if it's a group of people? I guess.
I don't know. Is it less fascinating if it's a group of people? It doesn't fit our narrative as well. because traditionally our idea of art making is like one guy. You get the one guy, the master in the studio painting. You know, the Van Goghs or whatever. That's our Basquiat. One guy, one canvas.
I mean, but
right?
but you know what? But this wouldn't really be a surprise considering what you're saying, because if you're making it seem like it's not really about the art, it's more of the idea behind everything and the reaction to it, then it really wouldn't be much of a surprise if it was a collective of people.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It would be.
But I think this is sort of a discussion that whatever Banksy is probably encourages. I feel annoyed kind of talking about him this much, but I mean it is pretty interesting. And I mean one thing
Why?
Because it's like this guy is going to be in textbooks in terms of like what modern art was or whatever we called art in the 2000s. This is going to be a thing. Like. We're not going to get Rembrandt. There's no Van Gogh right now. There's no guy who's like the average ass person walking down the street doesn't know about like, I don't know, Carol Walker. I mean, maybe they might know who Carol Walker is, but it's like, how do I put this? Just painting isn't enough anymore. That's not the society we live in anymore. In terms of making visual art, it's like it's got to be more than that. Like we still like paintings, but like that shit is old. It's old. It's past. Like Andy Warhol, like he did that shit already. So we just need to keep doing more. The fact that this guy his art is interacting with the internet, it's confusing as shit. It's sort of, it can be destroyed and all that stuff. It probably is better suited for our world or our current world. It probably says more about us. I think more people know about Banksy than Jeff Koons probably, who's, I mean, he doesn't even fucking paint his own shit, but he's like another, do you know what I mean though? In terms of a guy just painting shit, like Banksy's more popular than some dude who's just painting shit. So it's interesting to me in terms of like, this is where we are right now in terms of visual art. Mm-hmm. In the public eye, anyway.
Interesting stuff. Kids, look up that Twitter account for your daily motivation.
Here's one that says society, and it's society these days. It's guys, a bunch of dudes taking a footage of a person drowning, a guy chasing money that's suspended over his head. He's gonna run into a grave, and a teacher. She's slicing down speech bubbles above kids into squares. And the most hypocritical part of all this is that I agree with all of it. I fucking hate this. Maybe it's the imagery I hate.
Here's something that sounds like something that you would hear from a woman on a first date, and you nod because you're trying to get some pussy. Respect me and I'll respect you. Simple as that. And you just nod your head like, yeah, that's good, that's good.
Oh, here's another quote. It says, the
straight.
earth without art is just air. You get it?
Said the Zentangle representative.
Zentangle wants you to know that millions of flower petals erupted from a volcano today, covering an entire village. This message brought to you by Zentangle. Do not worry, Zentangle is always with you.
Have you gotten into Orange is the New Black at all?
I watched like a few minutes of the season.
A few minutes of the season? Why is that?
I'm busy, dude. I got this shit. I'm working on this cartoon. I'm working on Hip Hop RPG, which is stalled because I'm working on that cartoon.
That could be in the background while it's playing. That show does not require so much brain power. It really doesn't.
I guess, but I like
you
podcasts more.
You once used the argument of you can't watch what's the Kevin Spacey show?
House of Cards?
You can't watch House of Cards in the background because it requires you to give your full attention to it. I can't say the same. Yeah, I can't say the same for Orange is the New Black.
How is it this? Did they I heard Piper was just eating out Alex in that library. I heard they were just munching box.
They went at it. They did. I'm done with the entire thing. Was it hot? No, I don't find the relationship to be hot, sir. I'm not very much into white
pussy,
women.
I just want to know who was eating whose pussy.
You think Piper Chapman is fucking incredibly hot, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Okay.
I didn't say. You see, yeah, you're assuming shit about me.
I'm pretty sure you probably think she is, and you're just trying to fuck me. That's what it is. You're trying to fuck me over on this one.
Who ate who out?
I don't remember.
I should put that as a quote. Who ate who out?
That's gonna be
By
right
the
under
way,
your tombstone.
you guys. If we had it my way, these shows would be named. This show will be named "Who Ate Who Out," but it probably shouldn't because it's the beginning of it is a very topical, serious
Who ate who out?
conversation.
Jesus Christ.
Who ate who out?
I do want to say that I am annoyed with one character in particular. I've always been annoyed with Alex. I've never been interested in her character. No, I don't even know the chick's name, but it's the really thin black chick who looks like Pharrell Williams.
Poussey.
Poussey? Okay, yeah, you're right. There you go. She annoys me this whole entire season. She's got this fucking this constant angst and this need for acceptance, and she wants love, and every scene with her facial expression is fucking taxing. She always does this thing where she's like, enough.
That expression she makes when someone rejects her, she's like, everything kind of scrunches up.
Yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. But overall, the season did wrap up pretty well. A lot better than the last season did, because the last season had that ridiculous scene at the end when V was killed by the cancer chick.
Kind of corny.
That was
I don't
terrible.
like how they transformed her back to her young self at the end. I didn't like that. I thought it was corny.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I want to direct some shit. I would love to direct some real people in something, man. Not a porn. But someone asked me recently, was like, do you think you could do that? And I mean, yeah, I think anyone who does animation can do that. But the cool thing is, like, the awesome thing about animation is, like, I can work myself to death, and everyone in the animation is my slave, okay? I own slaves, and they are animated characters. All right, you can quote me on that. Mm-hmm. And they can do anything that I want. People will be different, but I would love to, at some point, direct people in some kind of a short film or something.
This gives
like
you
5 minutes
a
long.
sense of control? What is this? What is this all about?
I love control. I want to control all of it. It has to look the way I want it.
Okay, if you were to make a short film, pitch it to me. I'm the big record. I'm the big movie exec. I got my big cigar, my nice little fancy suit.
All right, cool.
Come in the office. Dominic Robburn. Dominic Robburn. I hear you got a great pitch, a great movie. Please make it quick.
All right, okay. The movie is called Who Ate Who Out. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Alicia, can you put up that PowerPoint? Okay. Now listen, it starts out, you're just hearing sound, right? It's imagine, right? Close your eyes, right? Black screen.
Okay.
This is what you hear.
Black screen. Loving it. Loving it.
And then
how many
you
seconds
see
of that
two
exactly?
30 minutes, okay? This is the director's cut. 30 minutes of that.
With
right?
it so far.
Okay. You bring it up, and it's 3 girls, and they're all soaked, all right? They're all soaked.
Three white women. White women?
I was gonna make them Latina and black, but I guess they're women. I guess they're white now.
White women. Continue.
All right. Okay, they're white. All right. Sure, man. We got Charlize Theron. Okay. We got Zoe Deschanel. Okay.
And the third, Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen Page.
DeGeneres, and we've got a deal.
Man, I don't know how much money are you gonna give me for this?
She's doing the funky chicken with no clothes on.
I need 10 mil.
Done. How exactly are you doing that noise?
What do you mean?
How is that happening? Okay, you're grabbing a... Okay. No, sorry, I can't do it. What is this?
How uncomfortable are the listeners, right?
Do it again. Oh, Brenda. Oh, Brenda. Don't stop. Why'd you stop, Brenda?
That's too much.
Oh, now it's too much.
It's too much.
We're giving some context here. Some guy's getting head from Brenda, and now it's too much.
No, man. It was 2 girls eating each other out. That ain't gay. Now this shit is sus. You feel me? This shit is sus. Oh man, I fucking I tweeted Oh, I was just about to. Were you ever about to tell a story that you thought was gonna be funny, and then you ran the story through your head, and you're like, "Wow, that's not funny. It's just not. It's just boring.
Yeah,
it's gonna be 3 minutes of me yapping my gums.
Okay.
My boring self. Yeah, but Orange is the New Black season 3. How does it stack up to the other ones?
So you were about to say a story, and you chose not to do it. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not. I would have been forcing the funny. I would have been forcing it. I would have told it, and I would have been like, you know what? It's not that funny. It's much better if you read it. You guys want to see the story I was about to tell? Look up Underwater Eddie. Underwater Eddie has a Twitter, by the way, you guys. Underwater EDDIE. Look up his interaction with one comedian, a very funny comedian, Jamar Neighbors, where Eddie accuses him of being sus. All right? No, look up that exchange. It's very funny.
Okay. But yes, is it better than the other seasons? I would say that as far as finishing it up and giving you a lot of interesting themes moving forward, definitely. It makes you look forward to a few things that are pretty fucking crazy when you consider the certain characters don't know exactly what consequences came to them at the end of the episode. Other things happen that are related to them, but they have no idea. And it's going to change how they perceive another person within the jail. Definitely. So, you know, there's a lot to it than that. I think there's a lot to sink your teeth into moving forward. But I hope the next season will be the last season, because I gotta say that I'm pretty sick of following a show for about whenever I see a show has 7 seasons, I cringe, because I know that show's just spreading it out way too thin. It's
usually done after 5, man. That's
after
why Breaking
5,
Bad
it's
did it
normally
perfectly.
Yeah,
but shows have shelf lives, man. These things are all living creatures. They die, they wither away, and they die. And right now we're coming out of our. No, we're not. We're still in our anti-hero phase where, everything's morally gray. Who knows if they're good or bad? But no show can like Mad Men. People stop giving a fuck after season 3. I feel, man. They drag that shit.
How many did that have?
Like 7 or something.
That had 7?
6
okay.
or 7. But like Walking Dead, now they started a spin-off. It's called like Fear the Walking Dead or something. And Fear of the Walking Dead. And it's... I mean, they're making, like, how much more can there be?
Right.
Like, what the fuck? They're going to keep making more. And it has a shelf life. Even though it's killing in the ratings department right now, so is Game of Thrones. That also has a shelf life. People will only take that for so much longer.
Right.
I think Game of Thrones has that's a pretty rich story. But I think it has like 4 more seasons in it.
I can't bear that. It's just
Me neither.
And
I
at
don't
a
watch
certain and at a certain point, it's like once you've made it past a certain amount of seasons, you have to see what the conclusion is. You have to follow it, because that's what happened to me when I watched Weeds. I binge watched it for maybe like 4 seasons, and
do you like her, the chick on Weeds?
No, and actually, you know what? That was the frustrating thing about that show. The frustrating
Why? Because everyone thought she was hot on there?
Everyone thought she was just this smoking hot, irresistible chicken. Don't get me wrong, she's fuckable. She is. But they made it seem like she was a fucking 10. And it's just not the case whatsoever. And that's part of... And also what ties into that, too, is that it's also the fact that she lives in a world without consequences because she's this hot female. And everybody just gives her the benefit of the doubt. And the slap on the wrist because she's so hot.
If it would have been me, I would have been in
Can't take
jail
it.
fucking season 1, episode 1. It would have turned into Oz real quick.
With you getting butt raped. Willingly,
I'd be
might
doing
I
the butt
add.
raping, sir.
Willingly, might I add.
I guess you might have said, go ahead, boys. They'd be like, what? This nigga retarded. And just walk away. That's my plan. Go ahead, boys. Call me Caleb. Hey, come on in there. Do you respect? Come on, have a seat.
hey,
I hear you want to
sir.
make a movie.
Yeah. I want to pitch this movie to you. I think it's going to be a blockbuster hit, sir. Okay, and here it is. All right, it stars my friend and co-host Dominic Robron, right?
Okay.
So it's Dominic. Dominic. He starts out as a young boy, right? Not really into to women too much. But as he gets older, he realizes that there's a dragon that he has to slay, right? And the dragon it's white women. Okay, it's white women. So he starts out as a boy, and he's in a faraway.
Wait, hang on.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I like this. Who's gonna play the adult version of Dom?
If you've ever seen that episode of Black Mirror,
15 million merits.
15 million merits.
All right.
The guy who is in there, I think we can cast him to do it, right? So he's at the he's at the other edge of the world, and his goal is to get to one white woman. Doesn't matter who the white woman is. As soon as he finds a white woman, he will marry her. He will consummate the marriage, and
Hillary Clinton.
And this is it could be Hillary Clinton. And opposing Dom and stopping him from getting to the white women is Julio, who is played by Emilio Estevez.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
We need wait. We want someone a little more ethnic. Okay, this is an ethnic
a little more ethnic.
A little more ethnic.
Raul Julia.
Who is that?
He was Gomez on the Addams Family.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. I think
Perfect.
Raul Julia is dead. Actually,
Fucking should have got someone better.
somebody Googled that. I think Raul Julia is dead.
Should have got Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. That works. Let's do it.